What's up, everybody? This is Sean Coffey here with Bo Ben. Decided to get on here, make a quick video. I just got done with my first couple hunts this season, and they were both very, very slow, unusually slow. So I had a lot of time to think while I was sitting in the tree stand, looking at squirrels and leaves flying by, and I thought, this is when most guys quit. This is when most guys say, you know what, I'm not going hunting tomorrow because I didn't see anything today. There's no deer here. Oh, this is just going to be a terrible season. We've all heard it. So I thought I'd make a video on how I personally, because we all get frustrated in those situations, so how I deal with that and how I keep a clear mind, keep my mind right, and keep hunting and keep after the deer. So like I said, my first couple hunts were very, very slow. First hunt, I went to a farm where the neighbor's beans, they got a few hundred acres of beans, still very, very green. They just cut the hay on the farm that I hunt. It's a farm that has a ton of cover. It's notorious for holding tons of deer on the farm that I hunt, and they pass through. Well, they go from the farm that I'm hunting to the neighboring farm, especially this time of year when the beans are still very, very green. So I thought, oh, perfect spot, time to get in there. I saw one deer right at dark, a few hundred yards away, but that was it. So I thought, the acorns are dropping here in Missouri like crazy this year. It is ridiculous how many acorns we got. So I went to another spot that's very heavily wooded with a lot of oak trees, and I kind of found a good spot where the oaks were dropping, which is the whole entire woods, but I found a couple trees where I could see the deer had been working it up, and there was plenty of sign that the deer had been there recently. I hung a set. I hunted the next morning. Didn't see a single deer. Incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. So I kind of got to thinking some more and kind of went back to the drawing board and thought, that same farm, the first farm that I sat at where I didn't see any deer the very first hunt, well, I saw one deer. In the very back of that farm where I don't hunt very often, especially this time of year, because I don't like walking through all that stuff. I can get back there without blowing deer out, but it's slow moving. I thought, well, the back there is access, easy access to the neighbor's beans there, easy access to fresh cut hay there. There's bedding, cover there, and there's also a big row of big white oak trees that are hanging out into the field, and there's a big patch of oaks behind me there. So I thought the deer are probably going to be there, and I was right. So I said that whole long story to bring up the point that if you just trust the process, so if you're doing all the little things and you're doing all the little things right, and you're constantly analyzing what you're doing and going, okay, am I doing this right and am I doing that right? If you're going through the proper steps and the proper processes, and you're constantly trying to educate yourself on deer hunting in general and on different tips and tricks and anything you can get your hands on that's going to make you a better hunter, and you're out in the field actually doing the things you should be doing, you're going to kill deer. If you're out there and you're in a good spot because you've scouted this spot, you worked your butt off to get permission to hunt this spot, the deer are in this spot, you've been out there scouting, you know what the deer are doing, you know that you've hung your stand properly in the proper direction, with you're hunting in the proper wind, you've prepped your spots, you've trimmed your shooting lanes, you have everything set up properly. You're putting the proper amount of time in. You're not just going out for a half an hour, an hour. You're putting the right amount of time in the right winds, in the right spots that you've scouted where the deer are there. If you do all those little things right and you're constantly analyzing, just like my example there of what I had to do, I just had to keep hopping around from different properties, and then even on the same property, hunting spots that I normally wouldn't hunt this time of year because they're typically not that great this time of year. But you got to put all this data that you're getting as you're hunting and through previous years of hunting, which is why I like to keep a hunting journal, so then I can look back and see some of that data, and that'll help me as well. But if you're constantly taking in all this data and you're constantly trying to figure out how you can get better and how you can kind of well, you're never going to get one step ahead of the deer, but try to get a step or two ahead of the deer. If you're doing all those things right, you're going to kill deer every year. The key is trust the process and patience. Patience kills more deer than anything else. Not having patience probably ruins more opportunities to kill deer than anything else. But in order to have patience, you have to have peace of mind. And to have peace of mind, you have to know and trust that you've been doing all these things properly and that you're going through this process and you're going through the steps of, okay, did I do this, and this? Okay, I didn't do that right. Okay, I need to go back and fix this. If you're doing all those things, you're going to be patient because you're going to have this peace of mind knowing, okay, I did everything I can to put myself in the right position at the right time. So if you do all those things, you're going to kill deer. So just don't stress out. If you have a few hunts where you don't see deer, if you have a couple weeks where you don't see deer, it happens. Sometimes if you do all the things right, you're still going to have a string of bad hunts. It happens. It happens to all of us. No matter where you're hunting, no matter how long you've been hunting, how good you are, how experienced you are, you're going to have slumps. You're going to have slow times out in the woods. It's the guys that are able to trust that they've done everything properly and that know that they're putting the time in and they're doing everything right, and the guys that are patient and that just go, okay, I know this is going to work out. I just need to trust this process and I need to be patient. Those are the guys that kill deer every year, and a lot of them kill really big deer every year. So don't get frustrated. Just keep hunting. Thanks for watching, everybody.